Alright there, Vlad. I'm going to be doing a quick review of the new models you uploaded the other day. So I'm just going to go grab them real quick. We'll start with the warning bell. Alright, so the first thing, again, you got to be careful. You always want to use the world center, because now whenever you bring it into Unity, it's always going to place it off-centered. So that's just something that's really important. You always got to make sure to apply all your scaling, because right now, depending on how it's exported, the default scale for it is this. So this is the default scale on it. So just something to keep in mind. You always got to apply those things before you start doing exports. Alright, and you said that this one here was unwrapped, so let's take a quick look at... Take a quick look at the UVs here. Alright, so first of all, I'm not entirely... I believe that you use 3ds Max, so the steps are going to be a little bit different, but you want to try to avoid having these curves like this. Because often, especially since we're using procedural textures, tileable textures, something like this isn't going to work very well. There's going to be a lot of warping in the texture. So let's do a quick test here. Alright, sorry about that. For some reason, when I imported your mesh, the FBX into Blender, it didn't have any seams. So I'm not sure if that's because in 3ds Max you didn't put seams and you just used a smart unwrap tool, or if it's an issue with Blender maybe. I know that Blender doesn't really like 3ds Max that much. But anyway, so you can see that there's like this weird warping around. I just followed the exact same contours that you had seamed it. So here's how you fix it. So you grab a specific face here, and this will be what the face that every other face will just base itself off of. You want to straighten it out. You want to select this face, and then select every other face. You want to follow the active quads. So now you can see that it'll follow the contours properly all the way around. So I'll just do back and forth to show you the difference. So that's that's before, and that's after. And then if there's, you can see here that it stretches a little bit, so you can just adjust it afterwards if the stretching's too bad. Obviously, with a shape like this, you're never going to get something that's completely perfect, but you just want to try to remove as much stretching as you can. And with this way, you can see that you don't get that obvious seam either. So because we're using tileable textures, this is probably the best way to do it. So that's my only criticism with that. I'm going to go through and I'm probably just going to reseam it, just because I don't know if that's going to cause issues. I don't think it will, but I just want to make sure. The only other criticism I have is these things, like these parts here, don't necessarily need to be separated this way. It seems like every face was split up. Usually for cubes, you always just want to do them the same way, which is just like this. You always want to grab the head, like the tip, and then just it unfolds like a cube this way if I go unwrap. And that saves up a lot of room, and that means that you want to save as much room as you can in the UVs, because that means that there's less wasted space in between them, so you get more detail in the actual texture for them. Tileable textures, it's not as big of an issue, but if we were hand painting the textures, that would be a big point of contention. So it's just something to keep in mind for next time. I'm just going to do the couple little changes like the bell. I'm just going to do the other thing. Everything else is basically fine. The model itself is good. 400 triangles isn't too bad. I'm going to give you a little bit of shit again for n-gons. N-gons is anything that's more than 4-sided. So pentagons, hexagons, octagons, anything like that is considered a n-gon. So anything that is more than 4-sided, you need to make sure that you either convert it to quads or triangles. So the way that I usually do it is I just go like this. Because if not, you can get some really weird just geometry. Like for example, if I go with just this one and I just go convert to triangles. What's that tool called? Triangulate face. This is the kind of thing that you'll get inside of Unity. They all use the very similar algorithm. And you just get a lot of wasted geometry like this, and it could really screw up the texture. So just make sure that you do it nice and clean. That's it for the criticism for the bell. I'm just going to open a new layer here. And we're going to take a look real quick at the wheel. The wheel I think is good because I'm assuming that it's the same wheel as the other cart. Actually, I can tell it's the wheel from the cart because I'm pretty sure it's in the same place. Again, roll position is really important. I'm just going to place that in the middle. Then we're going to apply rotation and location. Alright, let's take a look at it real quick. See, again, I'm not sure what the issue is here. For some reason I'm not getting any seams. So, you're gonna have to get back to me. I'm not sure exactly what method you're using. We gotta figure out a way that we can get it to work on both. 'Cause that'll make it a lot easier for me as well. Like, it's not a huge issue. I don't know. Again, I don't want to sound like I'm accusing you because I'm not even sure if it's something on your end or something on my end. I'm going to actually do a little bit of research on that because it's driving me nuts. But other than that, everything looks good and in order. So I'm just going to do the couple little changes that need to be done, and then I will put it inside the engine. You still have another 2 tasks, I believe. If you need anything else to do, let me know. I'm probably going to try to add some more stuff to the list. I'm assuming that we'll be good to start actually doing texture work, so I don't know if you are comfortable doing that. But you should be hearing from me shortly about starting the next step for a lot of the models. So good work so far. Finish off what you've got left in the list. I'm going to put these in the engine for the next push. And I'll talk to you again shortly.